What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of A Down Once More. I'm your host, Matt, and welcome to Wicked for Good Week. So, this episode is releasing on November 19th. So, there are some early screenings that have already taken place. The official release is on the 21st. I will be seeing the movie tomorrow night on Thursday, November 20th. Game plan for reviewing and talking about the movie on the pod. As soon as I get home from the movie, I'm planning on recording a quick, initial thoughts reaction video on it. It'll be short. I'll do a no spoiler section at the beginning. At the end, I may talk a little bit of spoilers, but primarily it'll be spoiler free and just my initial gut reaction and thoughts and feelings and kind of the vibe I came away with from the movie with. Later on, I will bring someone on and we will do a full review of the movie. We'll see if that happens sometime in December or once it's available on video on demand, and so more people have a chance to get it or have had an opportunity to see it in theaters. Because this time gets crazy with holidays, family, everything like that. I also like to have some time to just kind of sit with the movie for a bit. And listen to the songs, maybe get another viewing in to get really in depth with it. So, that being said, there will be a bonus episode dropping both on audio platforms and on YouTube with my initial thoughts. I am by no means an expert reviewer. I do not know all the lore of Wicked. I have listened to the original Broadway cast album many times. I've read Gregory Maguire's novel, listened to it in audiobook form twice. And I've seen the stage show once, and I saw the original movie multiple times. Now, so I'm not going to come out here with all sorts of big insights. If you've been following the pod for a while, as if you're watching this episode, you probably know I go on how the movie makes me feel, kind of the vibes of the musical as a whole, and how it sits with me. This week's episode is going to be a little bit more of a mini episode since we're going to have a bonus episode dropping. Depending on how my week's going, that episode will drop either late Thursday night or by end of day Friday. I've got company coming leading up to Thanksgiving on Friday afternoon. So I'll probably be pushing it out either Thursday night or Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channels, turn on notifications. You'll get notified as soon as that bonus episode, my initial thoughts on the movie, are out. And as always, time codes in the description. So if I'll give warnings before I talk about spoilers, but you can skip there. And for any of the episodes, if there's a subject you don't really care about or you want to skip ahead, or if you're like, you know what, I really liked that segment, I want to go back and find it, time codes are your friend. That's what they're here for. A few random things I'll talk about. I give previews of what's coming to streaming and theaters in here, usually the first episode of the month. Or if we got 5 weeks, it'll be the last one of the month. And one of the things I said I was most looking forward to this month was Dan Trachtenberg's Predator Badlands. I did get the opportunity to see that this past week, so that I'd give my thoughts a little bit on that. I'm someone who's enjoyed the previous Predator movies, but I am by no means a Predator movie expert or a diehard fan. I did not really enjoy Shane Black's Predators movie. Okay, I'm editing and it was bugging me, so quick correction. Shane Black's movie that I really did not enjoy was The Predator. The one that I did really enjoy that I talk about here in a minute is Predators. So I got the name switched. The Predator, Shane Black, not good at all. Predators, a lot of fun, good movie. Back to the episode. I thought that was just kind of, I don't know. He tried to do some different things. It definitely made it more about the people. Anytime they try to make a kid the main protagonist and kind of the MacGuffin of the movie, kind of takes me out of it. I did, however, really enjoy the Predator movie that took place on the island with Adrian Brody and a whole bunch of people where it's like, hey, they basically dropped these criminals into this game preserve. That was the Predator's hunting grounds where they would go. I thought that one was pretty good. I enjoy the original Predator a lot, and I enjoy the Alien versus Predator movies for what they are. I really enjoyed Prey, Dan Trachtenberg's first kind of movie into the Predator franchise and that world that took place in the past, followed Native American and kind of the Predator coming on a hunt to those native lands and them kind of having to use their skills to battle and survive. I really enjoyed that. It was a different take. Some people didn't love it. I thought the tension was great. I thought the action was great. I really enjoyed it. So excited to see what else he would do. Since then, he came out with the animated Predator Killer of Killers, which I talked about briefly on here. It came out to Hulu a couple months ago. I thought that was fun for an animated movie. Went through different time periods and different things that the Predators were doing for the ultimate hunt as well. I really enjoyed that. And then this movie came out, has Elle Fanning as well, and it's a different take because instead of following the humans who are trying to survive the predator's attack, the protagonist is actually a predator, a yautja, as they're called. Deck is the main character we're following. And he's kind of a runt, kind of ostracized. And it starts out with his father wanting his brother to kill him, to kind of cull the herd. The weakest should die. And his brother kind of defending him, saying that he should be able to go on a hunt to prove himself, to earn his cloak and to earn his spot in the tribe. His father, very hard-nosed, kind of instructing his brother to kill him. Won't get too spoilery, but Deck ends up finding himself on the planet that he was going to hunt down the one kind of prey that even his father was scared of, Kalisk. And he goes to this death planet. There he comes across Elle Fanning's synthetic or synth character who is out there missing her lower half, and she tries to kind of buy him in to help her, and they can help each other. He is very stuck on the Yautja hunt alone. They don't hunt in packs, they hunt alone. That's what their mission is. They're a weapon of themselves. And then she convinces him to use her as a tool, that she is a tool, she is not a partner. And kind of the journey they go through in the bond. Elle Fanning's character has some kind of comedic relief in there, but I felt like it was balanced fairly well. There are a lot of people who will not like this and say it's a Disneyfied version of the Predator. I can see that. I've seen people compare it more closely to the Disney Star Wars and Marvel movies than the classic Predators. I get that. It is PG-13. The first one's to be PG-13. But rest assured, it's not because the action and the violence is too toned down. It's because the Predator is not fighting humans. He's fighting synths. He's fighting monsters on the planet, all this different things. So there's not blood. And the Yautja speaks a different language. And so there's not swearing either. And that's the reason most of them are rated R, is for swearing and blood and gore. And so the blood and gore is not human colored and it's not from humans, so therefore it didn't really warrant an R rating. I don't think even if they slapped an R rating on it, we would have seen anything a lot more crazy or wild out of it. It didn't feel like it was nerfed or muted in that regard for me. Uh, it does definitely lean into a little more of the goofy. There's like a little goofy little sidekick that you've seen present in a lot of the Star Wars movies lately. I mean, Grogu, Baby Yoda, is getting his own like spinoff, The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming out next year, and that played a key role in The Mandalorian. I mean, it's always been kind of a thing with Star Wars too, where there's a little goofy, quirky side characters, which you get with the now I'm blanking on it, in episode 6, the little, not Wicket is the name of this little creature, but now I can think of the whole dialogue and talk in How I Met Your Mother about how Barney knows the girl he's dating is too old because she does not think these Ewoks creatures are cute. Ewoks. I know Amy is probably yelling at her headphones because we've talked about that. That's one of the major annoyances when I'm like, I know this. I have a note. What is it? What is it? But this podcast, raw, real, that's what you get. So, I mean, there is that aspect of it where it's pulling in these little quirky, goofy, little silly side characters. And so there is more comedic relief and humanization of the Yautja, of the predator. But you still get the resourcefulness, you still get that dangerous hunter mentality. And I had a lot of fun with this movie and thought it was a really good time. I think if you go into it as something different in the Predator universe, then you will enjoy it. If you go into it wanting it to be kind of like a paramilitary horror survival movie, like the original Predator was, you're not going to get that, right? This is the Predator's the protagonist. We're seeing kind of behind the curtain with him, and it's a really fun movie, a really great action flick, and I think you will have a good time with it if you go in with those kind of tempered expectations. I really enjoyed it. Other movie that came out this past weekend I haven't got the opportunity to watch yet, but I'm looking forward to is The Running Man with Glenn Powell. It's getting some, I've seen mixed reviews, but mostly positive. Stephen King really enjoyed this take. It's supposedly a little bit closer to the novels, the novella that he wrote under his pseudonym Richard Bachman in his days there. But it looks like another fun action movie, and I enjoy having a good action movie that I can kind of just turn my brain off, watch it, enjoy it, have a good time, and go from there. So I did start one of the other things I was most excited for this month was The Last Frontier on Apple TV, just Apple TV now, with Jason Clarke, actually. I think that originally premiered in October, so it was on the October list. Finally started watching it. I'm only 3 episodes in, and there's certain subplots that I don't care about. We'll see. Maybe they'll bring everything back together lately. But for the most part, it is a very fun kind of action thriller that I'm really enjoying. Haley Bennett from Cyrano, which we reviewed on here, and I actually really enjoyed that musical. She co-stars with Jason Clarke in it. It's a lot of fun. Dominic Cooper's in it. I'm really enjoying it. It does have some of the absolute worst CGI that I've seen in some scenes in episode 2 and 3. 3, it's especially noticeable, just kind of rough, which is wild because usually Apple TV, their production value is way up there, and I'm very impressed. It was distracting. So I'm still enjoying Last Frontier. I reserve final judgment until I get a little more caught up and finish the show. I think it still has 2 episodes left. It's airing weekly. We got Stranger Things season 5 is coming up. I probably won't even get to watch this until sometime in the new year because I still need to watch seasons 3 and 4 and definitely need to rewatch seasons 1 and 2 because it's been 8 years since they came out. So I'm excited for that too. You can definitely tell that the difference when you see side by sides from season 1 and season 5, these actors now, and it is wild. It is wild. Other random mini thing that I will review on here is Call of Duty Black Ops 7 released this weekend. This is a really nerdy dude episode that is very different from most of the musical reviews on here. I'm just noticing. I'm like, yeah, Predator movies, Call of Duty. But I digress. I always enjoy Call of Duty, but I'm mainly a campaign person and a zombies person. I'm not someone who has the time to get very good at the online multiplayer, and it just pisses me off when I play and I'm just getting absolutely wrecked. That's no fun for anybody. So I really enjoyed the campaign of Black Ops 6. And so I was kind of looking forward. The previews and everything they were showing for Black Ops 7 looks like they're going a more futuristic route, kind of more sci-fi, which has not worked out too well for Call of Duty in the past. But hey, that's where they were going with it. So we started the campaign, and I actually kind of hate the style and the direction that they took the campaign for multiple reasons. It is set up as a co-op campaign. That's even how it's described in the menu. So it is designed to work essentially as a multiplayer mode with the framework of the story. So you would think in theory that enemies are toned and scaled for if you were playing single player, because you can go through it solo, but it's tough. And it seems like you're still getting the same amount of enemies thrown at you from some reviews that I've seen. You can get knocked down. Enemies are just bullet sponges. It is like live and online because it works like a multiplayer mode where you can't pause it and walk away, which is rough because if you don't know how long that mission you're signing up for takes. I had I had stuff in the oven that finished when I was in the middle of a mission, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna crouch here, hope I can run upstairs, take it out, and I'll be good really quick. I was, but I'm it's going in like toxins, messing with your mind, you're hallucinating, different things like that, which Black Ops 6 had a few segments like that were really good. This, I feel like we're doing it a bit too much. It's getting way more in the sci-fi over the top and kind of blending almost the zombies realm more than the actual like storyline and world. And I'm not loving it. The gameplay is fun. The gameplay itself is fun, but the campaign mode and the mechanics for how it functions and works take me out a bit. But I haven't dove into zombies yet. That's where I spent most of my time in Black Ops 6. It's probably where I'll spend a lot of my time here in Black Ops 7. That was the Call of Duty segment that no one cares about. An announcement that was made this past week that I am very excited about is the Proshot of Next to Normal. That was filmed on the West End with Casey Levy and Jack Wolf. Will be debuting on Broadway HD on December 1st in its entirety, uncensored and uncut. And I am so thankful for that. Now, I did do my annual PBS membership to support PBS, and I love what PBS does. Good mission, good things, and they were the first reason I was able to see this Proshot, so I will always be thankful for that. What I will not be thankful for is the insane censoring, like changing sucks to stinks, and just removing and kind of I hate them using nerfing so much, but kind of detracting from some of the main emotional beats and moments because, well, I don't think you need to use a good fuck or shit to highlight a point. You can get your point across without swearing. There's something about it, especially in that show when it's used, that can portray the kind of the loss, the hurt, the pain, the hopelessness, the anger, the frustration that really hits you and punches you with it in a more poignant way than these random word vomit kindergarten words that they plug and play in there. They didn't, I will say, I respect CBS, they didn't cut out any of the themes of that musical. Like, it wasn't like whole sections were chopped, it was just radio edit, basically the clean version. So I don't know. I am very thankful that that will be coming to Broadway HD. I've talked about it on here. Broadway HD, their actual app and subscription package on its own is kind of a nightmare because they don't have an app for smart TVs. So watching it, you either have to have the app on your phone and cast to the TV, or you can connect through an HDMI or cast from your laptop to the TV too as an option, but there's not like a very convenient way to do it. But they do have Broadway HD available as an add-on to Amazon Prime. And so that's probably going to be the cleanest and easiest way to do that. That's what I do currently. And they do have a lot of good shows in there. They have a live Into the Woods. It was done at the park by Hannah Waddingham of Ted Lasso fame as the witch on there. And so they do have a lot of interesting content, and I think it's really cool. They have a pro shot of the last 5 years on there as well. So a lot of good stuff on there. It's just not the most accessible and user friendly platform. But I am so thankful and so excited to be able to watch Next to Normal in its entirety, even though Dan's voice performance with the American accent kind of takes me out of it a little bit. Casey Levy, Jack Wolf, fantastic in it. And from all accounts that I've seen, Jack Wolf is doing amazing on Broadway, in Hadestown as Orpheus. So a lot of cool stuff going on there. Or maybe he's just doing some previews. I think that he's officially on and live and has had his night one as Orpheus already, but I could be wrong. But a lot of fun stuff going on in the world of musicals. I talked a few weeks ago about the strike, between the musicians and actors as well on Broadway. Strikes, agreements were made with the unions. No strike is occurring. The show continues to go on. The Beetlejuice on Broadway with Justin Collette as Beetlejuice has gotten extended on its run. Heathers has also gotten extended on its off-Broadway run. And we already talked about on here, but the national tour lined up for 2026. They just announced there's going to be a national tour of Boop the musical after it closed on Broadway. And so really cool time to be a musical fan and see everything going on, everything that's going to be coming to the wings. I don't have any live musicals that I'm seeing this month. I will be seeing A Christmas Story live, the Pasek and Paul musical adaptation of the classic Christmas movie, about the Red Ryder BB gun. So I will be reviewing that. I'm seeing that the week before Christmas, so we'll probably drop that episode at the end of December. All right, so bonus segment getting inserted in here. I was about to start editing. We got the first live action Moana teaser trailer today. Figured I'd talk a little bit about that, inject a little bit more musical talk into this episode on the musical pod. It was going to be the tale of two pods this week. We were going to have the one that's like Predator, Call of Duty, and then Wicked for Good as the bonus episode. But I figured I'd throw this on here as well instead of tacking it onto the Wicked one. But Moana is a Disney movie that came out after I was at the animated Disney stage. So I didn't dive into it head first as soon as the musical released. I heard it from friends with kids. I went to some friends, their daughter had a Moana themed birthday party. And so my wife and I watched the movie before that. We'd heard it was good. And the movie is fun. The music is catchy. You've got the fantastical elements in it as well. And it was a very solid Disney musical movie. Loved it. Ali Carvalho, fantastic as Moana. Now, they announced a live-action remake. The Rock did. He's reprising his role as Maui. Awesome. So glad for that. But Catherine Ligaya is coming in and playing the title role of Moana. Ali Carvalho is a little bit aged out of it. One thing I will say that I was happy to see in the teaser trailer is more what I heard, and that's Catherine Ligaya sounds amazing with the little snippets we got from How Far I'll Go. And so I think that's going to be solid there. But it just really begs the question of these live action remakes, especially the ones that are going to be so reliant on CGI. Why? Why are we doing them? What's the purpose behind them? Now, the Lion King spinoff, Mufasa, that was a new original one. I get that, but that was because they had done the live action remake of the first Lion King and thrown that in there. And it basically is more just a hyper realistic animated movie as well, right? That's the thing people say. We're just throwing all this money in it to recycle, and we're not really getting anything new. I am a little nervous. We see a little bit glimpses of the like coconut people in the teaser for Moana. Are we going to get the giant snail portrayed by Jermaine Clement in Shiny? Are we going to get that number in this live action movie? Maybe not. That's, I think, Brad's favorite number he'd called out, and it's fun. So I just don't see the point of this. It feels like a cash grab, especially I get that it's probably now been about 10 years. We just had Moana 2. Did that come out and just go phew, like a flash in the pan? And I feel like I never heard anyone talk about it. Maybe, or is it still coming out? I don't know because I've aged out of seeing Moana in theaters. And unless I hear someone tell me it's so good, you need to see it, I'm probably not going to watch it. But this one is one when it comes out on Disney Plus, I'll probably check out. The teaser was just that, a teaser. We just get very few snippets of Maui doing dives, shots that are almost shot for shot remake of the animated movie, which is like what's the point? Wasn't necessary. I don't know. That remains to be seen. Like I said, Catherine Lagaya sounds solid singing as Moana, so we'll give that a shot. Maybe get a new original song or two out of the mix, and hopefully kids will love it. That's the target audience, right? Ultimately, my opinion doesn't matter. If kids will enjoy it and have a great time, then so be it. But I like the magic of a good old animated Disney movie. And so I feel like it kind of sucks that they're leaning more and more into the live action ones, and you lose a lot more of those fantastical elements. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that. Back to the rest of this week's mini episode. Gonna be having Brad on for next week's episode. We will be reviewing the Team Star Kid musical, Black Friday. Now, this is the second musical that takes place in Star Kid's Hatchetfield universe and series. The first one is The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, which I have not even fully watched. We have not talked about it on here. I'm kind of holding off because they did kind of a reprised version of the show that they restaged and filmed a pro shot of last year. So kind of updated it and did a better pro shot resolution and quality, everything like that they will be releasing on YouTube coming up in 2026. So I've kind of been holding off reviewing that for the podcast and watching it. Maybe compare and contrast both of the versions and talk about it on here. But Black Friday came out in 2020. They had filmed in 2019 and released on YouTube in February 2020. It takes place on Black Friday in Hatchetfield. Brad and I will be reviewing that next week. You can stream the album on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere like that. You can watch the Pro Shot for free on YouTube, like Team Star Kid does with all their shows, which is awesome. There are some references in it that are nods to things in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals that didn't land for me, but you can tell like the audience and the crowd is loving it. There's at least one recurring character. So maybe you want to watch that one first. I can't vouch for that one, but everything I've watched of Star Kids, I've really enjoyed. I think it's worth the time and it's free on YouTube. So can't complain about that. But that will be coming out next week. So Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. And then we'll see. Coming up on the pod, I'll be doing what's coming to streaming in theaters in December. I'm not quite sure what our December movie review will be. We might do the Jonas Brothers Christmas one that came out on Disney Plus this past week. I am going to have a couple more guest episodes coming up as well. So stay tuned for that. Lots of fun stuff going on. I've enjoyed the episodes, getting to pull new people in. Having Amy on was really cool to talk about what happens in local theater and behind the scenes of a show. Having Sage on for a couple episodes, we've gotten some fun drafts, a little different dynamic that's been a good time as well. So if you have topics for us, things you want to hear on the pod, DM us on Instagram at Down Once More Pod. Comment on YouTube on our videos. Reach out to us. Love to hear from you all. As we've had 2 fans of the show on the pod. So tune in next week as Brad and I review Black Friday from Team Star Kid. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. There's a little bit of a random episode. Make sure you have notifications on for when my Wicked for Good initial thoughts. I still am not a fan of the name. I'll be be honest. There's still just something about it rubs me wrong. But initial thoughts of that coming later this week. Love you. Didn't like. The love you seemed weird. It seemed weird tonight. I've done it before. But thank you all. I think it's because I always do thank you all first. I do thank you all. Love y'all. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.